Today is Friday. I've got 3 orders going out for a total of $39.29. The first thing that sold is a little brass mouse paperweight. I picked this up from an estate sale. I think it was $1.50. I think they had a price on it of $3 and it was 50% off. So I'm almost positive that I paid $1.50 for it. It sold for $11.96 plus shipping. I had it priced a little bit up because I kind of wanted to hold on to it. I don't really need it. I just kind of like it. So I had it priced at around 14 something. And with the 20% off sale, it brought the price down to $11.96 and it finally sold. So I'm not upset that it sold, but if it hadn't sold, I probably would have taken it out of inventory at some point and just kept it. The next item is a book, The Dissertation Journey. And this buyer actually purchased one just the other day. So they came back and bought a second copy. And this sold for $11.90 plus shipping. It came from the bin store for, I think, $1. And the last item I sold is a vintage wide bottom coffee mug. The logo has what I think is kind of like a vintage 80s look to it. And I picked this up from an estate sale for either 50 cents or $1. And it sold for $15.43 plus shipping. So that's all the sales I have for today. I probably will spend at least some time tomorrow doing some listings. And Sunday there are like 7 or 8 estate sales. So I'm sure I'm probably going to go to at least most of those. So those are my exciting plans for the weekend. Today is Monday and I've got 15 orders going out for a total of $189.03. So a little bit better weekend than I've been having really for a while now. I mentioned that I'm not really selling anything on Mercari right now because I just haven't been listing there. eBay has been so slow for me. I'm really just concentrating more on eBay than anything else. And the time it takes for me to make a listing on Mercari is kind of the same amount of time that it would take me to do a listing on eBay. And being that eBay is the better performing platform, for the most part, not for me so much lately, but for the most part, I've been concentrating on it. I haven't gotten into any cross-listing programs or anything for right now. I kind of just wanted to do Mercari for a little while longer before I decided. And I do realize that I need to get more items listed there before I can make a better decision on how much time I want to invest into Mercari. I spent most of the weekend sourcing. Saturday, Kim and I went to 3 estate sales, and Sunday, I believe it was 4 that we went to. I ended up picking up a good bit of items, and I'll show you everything that I picked up after I show you what sold. Although I have been bringing in a lot more inventory than what I'm selling, the reason is because I want to have more of a mix of items. I still have hundreds and hundreds of bin store items that I can list, but I'm trying to bring in the other type of items that you can't find at bin stores. The type of items that you can really only find at garage sales, estate sales, or maybe thrift stores, just so I have a better mix of items to sell. The first item going out is a Beard's Premium Beard Oil and Beard Wash set. These sold for $18.47 plus shipping, and I picked these up from the bin store, and I think they were $1 a piece. There were kind of like scattered lots of both the beard wash and the beard oil, so I found enough to put some sets together. I have several of these and I think I've only sold one so far, but pretty good profit, $2 into $18.47. I have a set of 2 luggage locks going out. One is a master lock, one is a Samsonite lock. These sold for $5 plus shipping. Originally I think there was $5 and some change, and I just sent a $5 offer out and someone bought it. These came in a $5 filler bag that I picked up from an estate sale, and I often say that I'll stuff anything into the bag that I think might be profitable, because normally I'm not going to pick up used luggage locks, but there were 3 of them there, and I picked up all 3, but one of them did not have the keys. Both of these, of course, have the keys with them, so I picked those up and made an extra $5 that I wouldn't have made otherwise. I sold a set of Boston Warehouse 4-piece touchdown plates. They're shaped like footballs. These sold for $16.90 plus shipping. These came from an amazing estate sale that we went to, and I have less than $1 into this item. I think I maybe had 2 of these. I can't remember. I either had 2 or 3 things total that were Boston Warehouse brand. I know I had a bigger set of these, and I either had 1 or 2 of these smaller sets. I sold a Vogue sunglasses case. It's like a blue rigid box sunglass case. And this sold for $9.22 plus shipping. And this came from the bin store for 50 cents. I sold a set of Pure Line refrigerator water filters. There's actually, it's a 3-pack box, but there's only 2 in here and they are new sealed. These came from Goodwill. And I don't remember how much I paid for them because I've had these probably about 2 years. I had went on a date in kind of a neighboring town, and it was a middle of the day date where we went and met for lunch. And when I left there, I'm like, you know, I know there's a nice sized Goodwill here. So I went to that Goodwill and I found a few items, and this is one of the things I found. But I don't remember how much I paid, probably $2. But these only sold for $7.68 plus shipping. And by the way, that date did not work out or turn into a second date. For whatever reason, this lady just, she had no conversation throughout the whole time we were eating. It was very, very awkward. I would say something and she would give me very short 1- and 2-word answers. So I'm not sure if she didn't like me or if she just couldn't carry a conversation. But whatever the reason, that was the one and only date we went to. The only positive to the whole thing was I was able to go to that Goodwill and find several items to resell. I sold a North Carolina Tar Heels women's tribal mesh cap. This came from Goodwill, came from my local Goodwill for $2 because my local Goodwill does not sell anything for less than $1.99. Even when you go in there and there are things that say Greenbrier International on the bottom of them, so you know they came from Dollar Tree. And they're now used, but everything is going to be $2 or more. So I paid $2 for this, and it finally sold for $5.96. The buyer had sent me a message yesterday asking about the color of the front of the cap. They couldn't tell if it was black or navy blue, and it's actually brown. I thought it was pretty easy to tell the color, but you know, everybody sees shades of color differently, so they weren't sure. But right after I answered them, I was actually at an estate sale, and I got back into the vehicle. I heard that I had a notification. I answered them right away, and within probably a minute, they bought it. I sold a Reduce Craft Growler 64-ounce dual wall vacuum insulated tumbler, I guess. I bought this for myself. When I go out during the day to work, I get very hot and very sweaty on jobs. So I thought this would be pretty cool to have with me. It holds 64 ounces, which I can easily go through 64 ounces in the course of a job or two. But I never used it, I never opened it. It's still brand new. And lately I've been kind of on a clear some of the clutter around my house kick. So I went ahead and listed this. It sold for $23.95 plus shipping. I don't know how much I paid for it. I may have paid like $16.99 or something for it. So not really making much money on it, but it is helping to get rid of some of the clutter around my house. I sold a vintage Royal China by Jeanette Quiche Lorraine recipe pie plate. And I know this came from an estate sale, but I don't remember which estate sale it was or how much I paid for it. I'm sure I would not have paid more than $2 or $3 for this because I just don't usually do that. And it sold for $15.38 plus shipping. I sold a 2-pack of advanced silicone scar gel. These have been sitting around for a while, and I don't think I sold any until last week. I finally sold one of these 2-packs. And I know a lot of times for me, things can sit for a while, things that I have multiple quantities of. And once one of them sells, more will sell pretty quickly. I have 50 cents into each box of these, so $1 total, and these sold for $11.09 plus shipping. I sold a 100-pack of replacement weed trimmer blades. Now these are not made by Stihl, but they're specifically designed for Stihl. I had probably a dozen of these boxes in my death pile, and I finally got them listed last week. So these sold for $13.35 plus shipping, and I either have 50 cents or $1 into each bag of these. I kind of missed my mark on those. I should have listed those at the beginning of the summer. I sold one bottle of Best Nattokinase 2000 fibrin supplements. Anyway, these sold for $10.20 plus shipping. More items that I found in my death pile, and these came from the bin store, and they would have been either 50 cents or $1. I sold a holster. It's just a small IWB, which is a in the waistband holster, and it's left-handed. So a lot of times it's a little bit harder to find left-handed holsters if you're a lefty. This sold for $5.96 plus shipping, and this came from the bin store for 50 cents. Next, I sold a vintage Kraft Miracle Whip salad dressing glass jar. I don't know what period this is from. I don't know if it's from the 60s, 70s, or what, but I picked this up at an estate sale for either $1 or $2, and it was actually full of little screws and stuff like that. And I didn't want the screws, I just wanted the vintage jar. So I think I paid like either $1 something or maybe $2 for it, and it ended up selling for $11 plus shipping. I would have liked to gotten a little more for it, but I am running a 20% off sale in my store right now. I sold a 2-pack of New Orleans refrigerator magnets. One says booze in it on Bourbon Street, and the other just says New Orleans French Quarter. These sold for $5.92 plus shipping, and I picked these up at a garage sale, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago for $1/4 for both of them. And the last item going out today is a spray hose water tubing kit for in-ground pool slides. This is to plumb the slides so that you can have water spraying down the slide so you can slide down a little easier. This sold for $28.95 with free shipping, and it came from the bin store for either 50 cents or $1. This is another item that I pulled out of my death pile just last week to get listed, and I listed it a little bit lower than everybody else, and I guess I'm kind of guilty of being part of the race to the bottom that I often say other eBay sellers are. I ended up listing it with free shipping because the other listings that I saw also had free shipping, and with only 50 cents or $1 into the product, I can absorb the shipping costs, because this is going to be, well, I'm probably going to, well, I don't know. I was thinking I might put it in a bag, maybe a box, I don't know. So I'm going to get all these packed up and get them to the post office. I just got back from dropping off my orders and picking up a return that I had. It was packaged up. Well, it was actually packaged up in the same box I sent it in. The only difference is when I sold this, it was in a sealed bag with some instructions that did not make it back with the return. It's a 14 by 10 AC vent cover. And I think I mentioned the other day, but I've sold 3 of these of different sizes. And 2 of the 3 got returned because they say it doesn't fit. But it's not because there's a problem with the item or it's defective. It's because there are 2 dimensions. There's the outer dimension and the inner dimension. So this more recessed area has to fit into whatever opening there is, and then, you know, this part right here covers it so it looks nice and finished. But nobody reads descriptions, apparently, or titles, because right here you can see in the title for this I have read description. And then if you click onto the listing itself, I have all the exact dimensions listed. I have the outer dimensions of the taller part and the inner dimensions, and yet no one seems to read this stuff. I almost think that eBay needs to have a literacy test for people who buy these items. And I actually copied those dimensions from the manufacturer's website, and I measured it. Well, I measured all of them before I listed them to be sure that it was the right dimensions for the ones I was selling, and it was. So I don't think I'm even going to sell this, because I just don't want to have to deal with another return. This buyer actually opened a return and sent a message for me to send a label so he could get his refund. That was kind of late one night, and I guess he was expecting me to send a label, and I do have returns accepted. It's just I have buyer pays returns. Well, the next day I saw he had went and purchased a label to return it. So he did send it back, and he had to pay for the return. So I do need to go ahead and refund him $30 for the vent. I'm really not out much because I only paid $2 for the vent, and I also am not on the hook for the shipping either way. So I'm going to go ahead and refund this buyer, and then I'll show you all the stuff I picked up this weekend at estate sales. I went to 2 estate sales Saturday. The first estate sale is where I picked up all of these items. This was kind of an unadvertised estate sale, at least on estatesales.net. Kim found this on Facebook Marketplace, and what had happened was there was an estate sale company that was supposed to come do the estate sale, but there was some kind of personal issue that the estate sale owner had to deal with. So the family decided to kind of have like a pre-sale, and they were going to move as much as they could last weekend while they waited for the estate sale company to be able to handle the regular estate sale. So they were pretty much blowing things out. I paid basically $1 for everything you see here. I was able to get 3 Bell's Best cookbooks, 2 of the first one, 1 of the second one. I've also got a stack of, I think, pretty good cookbooks here. Secrets of Original Don's Seafood and Steakhouse. It's a restaurant that's around Baton Rouge, Hammond, Louisiana. There's several locations, and I mean, I think they're okay. A lot of people really like them, but I didn't comp anything here. Basically, I paid $1 for every item here, with the exception of this where I paid $2. But you know, I'm always gonna pick up cookbooks whenever I go to an estate sale, and a couple of these, like I said, I think are going to be really good. So first, there's this, I think it's called an add-a-coin, like a vintage add-a-coin bank. You put the coin in and you move the lever, and it keeps total of your coins. I picked up, I think this is a Japanese trinket tray. I found a recipe box, which I might just keep this. I kind of bought it for the recipes, being that it was only $1. I found this ashtray from the Claridge Hotel. I've got this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if this was handmade. I just really don't have any idea. But like I said, everything here was $1, so I went ahead and picked it up. I've got 2 boxes of these steak knives. One of them only has 1 knife in it. Oh, I picked up this vintage patch also. These are Allen Brothers, the Great American Steakhouse steak knives. I don't think these are very valuable from what I saw, but I only paid $1 for each box. Bubblers Bubble Nightlights, don't have any idea about that. I found a brass swan, a Garfield magnifier, a vintage Snoopy ornament, a California raisin, this thing here, and I don't know what this is. I just know if you roll it, he turns his head. I don't have any idea what this is. It was on a table with a bunch of knickknacks that obviously came from a collection of stuff, because there was a whole lot of knickknacky collectible things there, but a lot of it I just didn't know if it was any good or not. I picked up this vintage Nylon Saddle Up Champion quarter horse trailer and a Bah Humbug pillow. So really, with everything here, probably just this one cookbook will pay for the entire lot. At the next estate sale, I only picked up 2 items. Normally I wouldn't go on Saturday, but it was so close to my house, I decided to just go by and see what they had. So I picked up this lamp Berger, I guess it's an oil burner. I did Google lens this. No, I eBay lensed it. I did not see any comps on it, but I know a lot of the lamp Berger things can go for $20 to $25, and even more if they are a little bit more rare. This one, I don't have any idea of. It ended up being $5, and I also picked up this Walk-On's Bistro and Bar Death Valley mug. So this is like, I'm sure LSU fans recognize the Death Valley thing. And this is also a 64-ounce Whirly brand mug. And some of these can go up to $20-something. It did not have the straw with it, but I had a pack of these I had ordered a while back to replace the straw in a couple of these that I already have. Never mind the combo unit, that's still here from the last video, maybe even the one before that, because I suck at testing electronics. So I have not tested that yet. From the third estate sale that I went to Saturday, which I might have said 2 earlier, but it ended up actually being 3, because this one ended up being 50% off Saturday, so that's why I went by. But I picked up several cookbooks. I don't know if there's anything really good here because I did not comp them. But I've got 5 cookbooks. RCA digital TV converter. I did not pull it out of the box at the estate sale. I just opened the box and looked. I think it's new, but I'm gonna have to check it to see. But the cookbooks were $2.50 each. This was $5. I picked up 2 of these Bates phone number and address organizers, and both of them, I think they've been used. I'm not sure, but both of them have packs of cards in them that are unused, because I did check those. I saw a lot of comps on these for around $15 without the cards. So with the cards, you know, I'm sure I'm going to be able to get a little bit more. They were both marked 5, and at 50% off, they were only $2.50 each. And the last item I picked up at that estate sale is something I picked up for myself. It's a couple Baofeng two-way radios. These were not marked, so she told me they would be 15 with half off of that. These are not expensive two-way radios. They're only about $20 on Amazon, but I do like to have these around just in case of an emergency. At the next estate sale, which was not your typical estate sale, I've been here I think twice before, and it's actually two commercial buildings that are side by side, and I didn't know what the deal was, but I talked to the lady Sunday and asked her why they have the estate sales there at the building, and she told me that they will go in and just buy out an estate and bring everything back to these buildings to sell it. So at that estate sale, I picked up 4 cookbooks. This is probably going to be the best one. The prices are kind of all over the place on this one, but a lot of times these can go for like $30 to $40. And also this cookbook is pretty good. Hungarian Presbyterian Church, and I've sold this cookbook before for like 20-something dollars, but it is a very, very good cookbook. It has a lot of South Louisiana type recipes in it. Lots of stuff with like crawfish etouffee. Well, look, 5 crawfish etouffee recipes, crawfish fettuccine, 2 of those. But a really good cookbook. I don't know about this one. I just thought it was kind of neat. Mountain Makings in the Smokies. And then Homemaker's Cookbook, Holden Baptist Church, Holden, Louisiana. And I also picked up this Mizuno fast pitch glove. They had it labeled at 15. It was 50% off, so that was only $7.50. At the next estate sale, it really wasn't that good. There was a lot of $5 fill-a-bag items underneath the carport, but unfortunately most of them were junk. So in the house, the only thing I ended up picking up were these couple board games. Well, I guess this is considered a board game. Lakeside's Crazy Crash Up Game Demolition Derby. It was 50% off, so the game only ended up being about $2. And I did run comps on this. I don't remember what they were, but I really wanted to make sure the game was complete. And from what I can tell, it is. And they also had this Greekopoly game, which I did not find any comps on this. I did do a Google search, and I was kind of pressed for time, so I didn't look maybe as thoroughly as I should. But since I didn't find much on it, I thought this may be one that's a little more rare. So I picked it up and I'm looking for the price on it. This one was $8. Well, it was marked 8, so it was only 4. And I figured for $4 I would take a chance on it. So at the last estate sale of the day, pickings were pretty slim at this point. We were there probably maybe 30 minutes before they were ready to close. Now everything that I got is right here. Kim also had a huge pile of stuff, probably 3 times what I have. They were doing $10 fill-a-bag, but at this point in the day, they said just make a pile on the table, put whatever you want in it, and we're going to charge you $10. So I've got $5 into all these items, and Kim paid the other $5. The first thing I found was this Cobra cap. It's a really nice cap. It's kind of dirty, but I think once I get it cleaned up, it's going to be pretty nice. I found the mystery face game, Guess Who. I did comp this, and I think comps were around 20-something on this. I opened up the box. The parts inside are kind of dirty for some reason, almost like this was stored outside, but it's still in good shape, and it looked like all the parts were there. This lady's golf mug with 40 wood tees is something that I did not comp. I don't have any idea if it even was worth picking up. It was just sitting there, so I threw it into the pile. Now this Go Sports Golf Chipster Range thing, I did comp this, and it looks like they're going for about $30 plus shipping. It's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of net thing or something. So I didn't really care what it was so much. I was just looking for something that I could make a few bucks on. And the last item was this jack-o'-lantern dish. I thought this may be a vintage dish. It was really dirty, so I know this had been outside. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm on to a vintage jack-o'-lantern dish. I turned it over and I saw it was Joann's Stores. So I was like, well, maybe it's not quite as good, although it does have 2001 on it. So I guess technically it is vintage, but no matter whether it's vintage or not, I thought it was a really nice jack-o'-lantern dish. So I think that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and really consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.